Hi all, welcome to our Serie A Team of the Season predictions video. This could be a pretty insane Team of the Season, some nice individual cards, but I think this Team of the Season has a lot of potential to get excited about. Welcome to Smash Likes, as always folks, sub to the channel if you're new, follow me on Twitter at GIsLegend, comment down below who you would like to see get a Team of the Season from the Serie A. And you're welcome to follow my social media links. All links are down in the description below as always, and welcome to that notification bell, goes a long way. So first goalkeepers that we've opted for are Handanovic, Donnarumma and Chesney. Now I think the only other real alternatives that I think could get in goalkeeping wise are Kragnov and then maybe someone like Sirigu. But I was kind of struggling a little bit actually in the goalkeeping front, out with the main 3 or 4. Like Handanovic been very consistent all season. He could end up in most consistent, but I think he may get put into the main team. And the theme that you're seeing with all 3 is that it would be 95 rated, and I wouldn't exactly knock any of the 3 for that matter, especially if you packed them. Donnarumma, 95 rated, very consistent season. Seems to be establishing himself as the main goalkeeper, not just for Milan but for Italy as well, and would be a very robust goalkeeper. A lot of folk I know are fans of his most highest special card, like the 89, so I'm sure a lot of them might enjoy that. And then Chesney seems to be making his own at Juventus. It was going to be an interesting battle with him and Perrin, but he seems to be the main goalkeeper that is the choice for Juventus, and as a result bagged a few informs, bagged an upgrade, and looks set for a nice Team of the Season card to go alongside. I'm sure a few Arsenal fans must feel a bit gutted not having him these days. Now my defenders, we've gone for 6 very robust defenders in Kolarov, Chiellini, Alexandro, Skriniar, Izzo and João Cancelo. The most notable admission I will admit from this is Koulibaly. I will admit that. I was in 2 minds whether to include him or not, and I will admit that he could easily get in over maybe someone else in this team. They may suddenly go 7 defenders. Kolarov been very consistent at left back, creating a lot of goals this season, which is quite impressive for a left back, but he's always had that presence about him. And Chiellini, another consistent season, not so much of late I will admit, but he could easily be usurped by say Koulibaly for example. Alexandro, very impressive season at left back, even at times playing in that left mid role, and very interesting how it's been going, but definitely meriting a nice Team of the Season card. Skriniar seems to be just developing even more into a very world class centre back for Inter, being a very shrewd shrewd player the last couple of years. When he first joined Inter he was like a silver, now he's like established into a very impressive player. Izzo, very interesting season for him for Torino, bagging a couple informs but just been very consistent for them at centre back. And João Cancelo being one of the leading lights for Juventus at right back, even at right mid at times as well, like Sandro. Obviously his one to watch card went up through the roof. Obviously since then he's obviously got multiple informs, but also looks set for a very impressive Team of the Season card, which it would be very hard to knock. But as I said, Koulibaly could sneak in there in the extra defenders, I will admit that though. Then our midfielders, like with Koulibaly, Allen could end up in most consistent, and same for Vertut for that matter. Actually, you could see Vertut and Allen into say most consistent, and this is then when you suddenly may find Koulibaly making this cut. But Pjanic just been quietly consistent. He always seems to be like that midfield, and while not maybe the most appealing card in the world, he could easily be one of these cards that a lot of folk will pack, and suddenly you just find folk will sell him because, or just put him in the squad because it helps link up for Ronaldo. Vertut very consistent for Fiorentina, making a nice upgrade, nice inform. He's been due actually a couple informs this FIFA. So I would say a Team of the Season card could happen and would be quite a nice little centre mid. I've just realised he wouldn't be most consistent because he's already got an informed. Allen would be most consistent, so I apologise for that little slip up. Insigne, not the most guaranteed, despite playing. Well, saying that, he could end up left wing, could end up striker, but I think left wing seems to be more likely, and DePaul would be the cheaper alternative. But he's actually been very, very impressive for Udinese, despite them not having the most impressive of seasons. And then Suso, very dominant on that wing for Milan, taking out Samu Castillo in a sense. Well, Suso's kind of been the main winger for them, and I would say from there that Suso, on top of what he's earned throughout the year, the team of the season card could be quite appealing for those that like to link up for hybrids, especially. Obviously Suso and quite a few players that have got like headliners cards. The big question is how much will these be affected, of course. Then forwards that I'm initially looking at of Milik, Dybala, Zapata, Gomez and Ilicic. As you can see, Atalanta kind of leading the line, as it were, with 3 forwards in Zapata, Gomez and Ilicic, which is absolutely insane. All 3 of them deserve in, like there's no question about it. But saying that, they may drop one of them, so be prepared for that. I would personally say, if they're going to drop one of them, I think they may drop Gomez, but they may put Gomez to Cam. But he's like Dybala in a sense. They've both had very good seasons, but they could easily be dropped for someone else. And Milik seems to have got over all his injury issues and leading the line very well for Napoli. Obviously got a good upgrade, good inform, and a team of the season looks certain for his particular run this season. Zapata, obviously this season very, very consistent with multiple informed and special cards. And if I know a lot of folk have got like his headliners card, they're probably assuming that with the team of the season, it might have, I don't think the team of the season will affect the headliners card, because then it just goes crazy. The headliners card would be 95 rated, and then it would suddenly make the team of the season card feel rather pointless. So I think the team of the season does not affect the headliners. And Ilicic, another man that's been very consistent with multiple informs, definitely deserving of a team of the season spot. And while Nation and some of the stats may not be as appealing, he's definitely deserving of that spot at like centre forward, Cam, and you wouldn't exactly knock it really, in all honesty. End of the day, it's a very nice, well-rounded card. And then final 3 forwards to kind of talk about is Piatek. First half of the season he was absolutely insane for Genoa. Like the first 10-15 games he was scoring goals for fun, and he was just very, very impressive. Obviously it led to Milan buying him. He's been still very consistent for them, buying in a few more goals to measure, and he's still got a half chance of the golden boot, so you never know what may happen. Ronaldo's not been maybe say the dominant player that I think a lot of fans were expecting for Juventus, but he's still been pretty impressive this season, and his team of season card could be 98, 99 rated. That will be the big talking point. And Quagliarella, big question is, will he get 90 pace? He's more than deserving of a team of the season card. I would say could be a very popular choice by a lot of YouTubers, streamers that are fans of him. Then my 5 objective cards that I've opted for, definitely a wide mix, as you can tell. Cragno could be the goalkeeping option. You never know how they may do it. They may do 4 objective players, they may only do 1, they may do 2, who knows how they'll do it. But Cragno, more than deserving, very consistent. He's not bagged in form somehow, so he may end up in most consistent and therefore may be substituted for someone else. And Kulu, another man that's been due in form, hasn't happened. Been very impressive at centre back alongside Izzo. Crescito bagged himself a nice inform earlier in the year. His position is definitely under discussion. Does he go as a left back? Does he go as a centre back? I think if he was given a centre back card, this card for a weekly objectives card could suddenly be very, very desirable. Then 2 forwards of Mertens and Immobile. I did kind of consider putting Koulibaly into this as well, but we'll see what happens. It's difficult trying to include everyone. Usually when you have like a list of these, you might have like 35, 40 players, and suddenly you've got to cut it down to like 23 plus maybe say an extra 5 or 7 players on top. But Mertens and Immobile, while both maybe not overly impressive for their seasons, have still been very impressive regardless. And obviously their Carnival cards are their highest rated at the moment, and potentially that could remain their highest. They may be neglected for other choices, whether it be in their team or within the league. But hopefully this gives you plenty of food for thought. Let me know, folks, in the comment down below, who do you think will get a Serie A Team of the Season card, and then for weekly objectives, who do you rate on that as well? So you're welcome to work your way through this and let me know what you think, folks. So take it easy all, thanks for watching, and I will catch you all later for more FIFA 19 content.